Welcome to Sattva Project, Open Hearts, Open Minds. Before we start our session, I would like to thank to our sponsors, Dream Homes, Asian Durian FM, and Durian Asian. And thank you very much for the sponsoring of our programs. And today we have a special session, a meditation session conducted by Venerable Sonam Wangmo and Dr. Tashi Choedron. So the session is dealing with conflicts in the mind and tying the knots. And we are going to welcome Venerable Sonam and Dr. Kama. So Tsunma Dr. Tenzing Dandon. Tsunma is honorific term for nun. Dr. Tenzing Dandon Sonam Wangmo was born in Tashi, Bhutan on 22nd December 1977. Tsunma became a nun in 1993 at the age of 16 in Dharamsala, India, after completing high school in Bhutan. She later received a Shramanika, the Tibetan Getsolma ordination from His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama in Dharamsala in 1999. Tsunma Tenzing also holds Master of Arts degree in Buddhist Studies from Delhi University, India in 2009, specializing in Tibetan Buddhism, and from the International Buddhist College, IBC, Thailand in 2016. Broadening her scope to all Buddhist traditions, Tsunma Dr. Tenzing Dandon complete a Doctor of Philosophy degree in Gender and Religion at the University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in 2017. Focusing her anthropologic thesis on nuns in Bhutan with the aim of improving the status and living conditions of nuns in her native country, Tsunma is also the first Himalayan Buddhist nun to obtain a PhD. Welcome, Dr. Tenzin. And Venerable Dr. Tashi Choedron. So Venerable Dr. Tashi Choedron is a Shramanika Getsulma and was ordained by Venerable Kenshin Trango Rinpoche in 2019. Venerable Dr. Kama is a meditation teacher focusing in mind training, calm abiding, and insight meditation. She is trained as a civil engineer and holds a PhD in Environment and Resource Studies from Mahibor University, Thailand. She completed an MA in Buddhist Studies from the International Buddhist College, IBC, in 2016. Venerable Dr. Kama, an environment sociologist and social auditor, is currently an assistant professor in development studies at the School of Politics, History and International Relations, University of Nottingham, Kuala Lumpur, and the Deputy Director of Education at the Vajrayana Buddhist Council of Malaysia, VBCM, and Religious Advisor to the Malaysian Buddhist Consultative Council, MBCC. Venerable Dr. Kama received the Outstanding Woman in Buddhism Awards in 2010 in recognition of her contribution to Buddhism and the environment by the Association for the Promotion of Status of Women in Thailand. Venerable Dr. Tashi Choedron has authored 2 books on conservation and co-authored a book featuring a comparative study between Sikhism and Buddhism titled 2 Gurus, 1 Message. So, very welcome, Dr. Sonam and Venerable Dr. Kama. We are going to start with a short Dharma talk, then sit and conductive meditation session. And in the end, maybe if we have some questions, we would like to obtain some answers and do the conclusion of the session. So welcome, Dr. Kama and Venerable Dr. Sonam Wangmo.
So, okay. Start session with a setting of a motivation. So please set a motivation that we are going to share this for the benefit of all sentient beings. And for this, we will just do a short prayer sessions of a refuge and bodhicitta, generating the bodhicitta, so that whatever the small deeds that we are going to do today by sharing this Dharma will benefit other sentient beings as well.
Tashi Choedron Soki Chokdam La Jangchu Bardu Dani Chap Suchi Dagi Jin Soki Pesu Namki Rola Benjir Sangi Ruparshu Sangi Choedron Soki Chokdam La Jangchu Bardu Dani Chap Suchi Dagi Jin Sangi Pesu Namki Rola Benjir Sangi Ruparshu Sangi Choedron Soki Chokdam La Jangchu Bardu Dani Chap Suchi Dagi Jin Sangi Pesu Namki Rola Benjir Sangi Ruparshu. Until my purified and perfect state, I and all my kind mother sentient beings as vast as the sky go for refuge to the Gurus, go for refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. From the merits accrued by practicing giving, morality, patience, effort, samadhi, and wisdom, may I become fully enlightened being, a Buddha, to benefit numberless sentient beings. This is the meaning of the opening. Thank you.
So thank you to the host, Sattva, so Brother Sherab Wong, Dr. Sonia, for inviting us on this platform to give a sharing. And then today our sharing will be on the meditation for world peace and global healing, dealing with conflicts in the mind, untying the knots. So I will do the first part, dealing with the conflicts in the mind, the conflicts in the mind, and the Venerable Dr. Karma will do the second part, which will be, she will be leading us or guiding us to the practical way of untying the knots from the conflicts in the mind. So actually, there is not even a single sentient beings in the samsara where who in the course of time without beginning has never been our father or mother. And when they were our parents, these beings' only thought was to raise us with the greatest possible kindness, protecting us with great love, and giving us the very best of their own food and clothing and everything good that they have, they will sacrifice for their children. All of these beings who have been so kind to us want to be happy, like all of us wants to be happy. So everybody, every sentient beings wants to be happy, and yet they have no idea actually on how to put into practice what brings about the happiness. So that is all the things that is giving the problem, the conflicts that rises in us, is because everybody wants happiness, but the problem is that nobody knows how to put into the practice to bring the happiness. And then likewise, none of the beings wants the suffering. They don't want to suffer. But because they don't know how to give up the negative actions, which is the root of the suffering, so we always land up suffering and always being in the cycle of samsara, cycle of suffering. All the sentient beings' deepest wishes actually is to wish for the happiness, for the everything good, everything positive to happen to them. But because they don't actually do not know how to work for the happiness, they always contradict in what they actually desire or wishes and what they actually do in reality in their actions. So we are all lost and confused, like a blind man who is abandoned in the wild uh, plain or in the wild forest or anywhere they're abandoned. So because of that, whenever we have the opportunity to listen to the Dharma or an opportunity to put into the practice of whatever we have learned, we have to do it properly. But most importantly, it is the motivation. It is not important of how we learn and where we learn and how we put into the practice. But the motivation is very, very important. If we have no good intention, no motivation, I mean, the motivation is not set properly, whatever good things you do, it will go into wrong. As earlier mentioned, that everybody wants happiness, but when they put into the actions, they didn't really know how to put into the proper actions. So it always contradicts. When they want happiness, they go doing the wrong things. And then likewise, they don't want suffering, but at the same time, they go and put into the action of all the things that will bring more suffering other than the positivities. So the main cause actually here that we are conflicting in our mind, there's a confliction in our mind is also because that we always think of I, my, mine. It's always that we make ourselves, oneself important than the others. That we always think that we are right, others are wrong. We don't see that we never see any fault in ourselves. We always think that we are perfect. We knows everything. We are important. We know everything. We are right, but others are always in the fault. So that one actually, instead of leading us to the happiness, it will lead us to the miseries, to the suffering. So in that way, you see, when you want happiness, but at the same time, when you act into it, it doesn't go along the path. It contradicts. So therefore, the Buddha's teaching always teaches us that there is actually no I. There's no truly existing I, because I arises only through the causes and conditions. So which means that we have to depend on others, other phenomena, other beings. So only then there is a I. But what we always go for the I, my, mine is always that think that we are like a one block unity where it cannot be broken down. And then we also think that that I that exists, which we grasp for the I, my and mine, is independent. So meaning that we don't rely on the other phenomena. But in reality, it is not. We depend everything on others. Like for example, even the air that we breathe is from the outside. Water we drink, food we eat, everything is depending on others because somebody is planting the food and there has to be seed, water for the plant to grow as well, sunlight. So in that way, if you really analyze it, it is all because of the others that we are there. It is not because of one independent, which we actually think. And then that's why we put an importance to oneself, to I, my, and mine. And then we always feel that we are right of what we think and what we do. And then also we think that the I is permanent, which actually is not. We are not permanent. We are actually made up of many, many cells, which will eventually break, will die. And then also made up of aggregates. We're also made of 5 aggregates, elements, and many, many things. Because if we actually go and find the I, there's no I. So if, for example, which one is I? My eyes, my nose, my mouth, which one? If you keep on breaking it into the smaller pieces, there's no I. The I comes because it is formed because of all the other five aggregates and the elements and all. Like, for example, we are made of the bones, blood, water, skin. But if we peel off one by one, there's no I. But because of our too much of attachment to the I, the grasping of the I, we feel that there is that truly existing I. So in a similar way, all the problems with the other beings is also same. And when we understand all this, then we develop the empathy. And then we also like have to really think on the thing like what is it? That we always go the actually the conflict in the mind comes from the grasping of the I, and we are also self-cherishing oneself. So to actually the topic today is like for the world peace and global healing. So for the world peace, if you yourself are fully into the suffering and then grasping into your I, my, and mine, how will there be peace in you? And then when there's no peace in you, definitely there will be no peace in the neighbor or the friend or the family that you are involved in, and definitely not in the world. So eventually, we have to bring our mind towards inner self to bring the peace outside. So to bring the peace outside, we have to build our peace in within oneself first. So once you have the peace within oneself, then you share it with the next person who is near to you, and then eventually slowly it shares to others. Like, for example, if you're in the monasteries or nunneries or in the community that you're living, when one person practices the happiness and peace sincerely, that will affect another one, and then goes on multiplying to others, and the whole community will be in the peace. And when the whole community is peaceful, that community will gain multiply it in the village or the bigger community, larger community nearby them, and that's how it spreads. So but it has to start from oneself first. Without having a peace within oneself, how can you bring peace to others? And then for that, you also have to have the positive mind. So if you have a positive mind, you always will bring a positive vibe to the others, positive thoughts that you send will surely will be effective. The others, they also will give the positivities. And then as if we have a lot of negativities, we will also attract a lot of negativities from outside. So you have to have the positive mind, positive thought, positive actions to bring the thing peace in the outside, to the neighbors, to ourselves, and to everyone. And as earlier said, if we do not put into the practice of what is good, what is positive, it will not bring the positivity to the others. So if you have positivities, definitely there will be, even if the things are not going well, the positive vibes will surely help. There are some of the examples from the past as well. Like I'm sure everybody must have heard, like there was a Indian lady from Tibet whose son was a business, and he used to go to uh, India every now and then for the business. So the mother requests the son to get a Buddha's relic from India, as India is a holy land. And each time the son will forget to bring. And then the last time the son goes again, the mother says that if this time, if you forget, then I'm going to give up my life in front of you when you back. So the son went, and likewise, when he came back, he again forgot. But thinking about the mother's thing, what the mother has said, thinking about the mother's word, he didn't go home directly after he remembered that. So as he was wondering what to do and how to do, he saw a dead body of the dog, the carcass of the dog. So he took the teeth from there, wrapped it very nicely in the silk cloth, and presented it to mother, saying that it is the Buddha's tooth relic. But because the mother has too much of positive thought and then too much of trust and faith in the Buddha Dharma, she really took it as the Buddha's relic. And sure enough, later on, it became into the relic. So you see the positive vibe is very, very strong. So even if it is a dog's teeth, it became really into a relics. So we always have to have the positive thought. So to have the positive thought, we have to have our peace of mind in ourselves. And then to have a peace of mind, we have to calm our mind, tame our mind, and which this Venerable Dr. Karma will lead us on untying the knots of the conflicts and to the global healing. So with this, I hand over the floor to Venerable Dr. Karma. Thank you.
So, Tashdile, good evening, and thank you once again to Satwa for inviting us. So, okay, right. Okay, right. Okay, so, Venerable Dr. Tenzin has just given you an introduction on the four immeasurables. We say that these are the four thoughts. I'm sorry, not the four thoughts, the four immeasurables. That means loving kindness, compassion, and then joyous, what they call it, mudita joy, yeah, joy, and also equanimity, upeka. So while not confining it only to the Buddhist tradition, I would like to make this meditation slightly more universal, but still using the framework of the four immeasurables. So I would like to summarize what the Venerable Dr. Tenzin has been saying. So the theme of our meditation today is world peace, yeah, world peace and then healing, isn't it? So these are the two, and then of course meditation for world peace, yeah, and global healing. So Venerable Dr. Tenzin just talked about peace, yeah, and so then she also said that peace has to start from oneself. So how do we actually start, can we emanate peace? How can we emanate positive vibes if we ourselves are confused and miserable to the bone? So this is where I would like to share some basic healing techniques. So Venerable has also said that if we want happiness, but we end up creating the causes of suffering, and then it goes round and round and round and round. So, and then we can never come out of it unless we train our minds to see the conflicts in our mind. So which means that we have to be aware of what's going on in our minds. So the problem with human beings is that we want to change other people. So we think that the way to peace is by carrying banners, and then shouting slogans and saying that we want peace. So peace is not the absence of war. Peace is actually on a very deeper mental level, individual level. Peace actually starts from the very core of our hearts, the core of our minds. So if we have awareness of what we think, what we say, and what we do, the world will be a better place. So the thing is just that people, generally speaking, we have two problems here. And these problems, because we are completely unaware, so we keep on creating these two problems over and over and over again. Now, what are these two? The two things is that we grasp at self. We think that this self really exists, which is what Venerable Dr. Tenzin just said. She tried to explain to you, to impress upon you that the self does not exist the way we think it exists. So we think that we are one whole big blob, and then Venerable said that we actually are not unitary. We are made up of parts. We are definitely not independent of other sentient beings and the phenomena, and we are impermanent. Because of that, we cannot be existing on our own. We exist depending on causes and conditions. The fact that we are not aware of this is the reason why we are suffering. And that is called the ignorance related to self-grasping. So we grasp at the self and we grasp at phenomena thinking that it's true. It really exists. So that's the number one problem. So I'll explain to you how to deal with it through the meditation very shortly. But first, understand the fundamental problem at the mental level. So because we think that we exist, then we create problem number two. What's problem number two? Problem number two is that we are selfish. We want things only for ourselves. Yeah, because we think that we truly exist. So this self becomes foremost, paramount. So we start creating this duality between I and you. So when there is I, there's definitely you. So who is more important from the ordinary human being's point of view? I, isn't it? Not only human being, all sentient beings have this inherent tendency of thinking that we are more important than others. This is called self-cherishing. So there are two problems I mentioned just now: self-grasping, which Venerable already explained, and now I want to explain to you about self-cherishing. Self-cherishing, people confuse with self-grasping. It's not the same thing. Self-grasping, thinking that self truly exists, and Venerable already debunked that notion. Now I want to explain to you this self-cherishing. The reason why we suffer is because we think we exist, number one, self-grasping, and because we exist, we want to protect this self at all costs. So which means that we want to do things for our own benefit, so that we can survive and thrive, at other people's expense or other living beings' expense or the expense of the environment and nature and whatever that's inside. Yeah. So we only care about ourselves. That's selfishness. Self-cherishing is selfishness. Self-grasping is ignorance that thinks that we truly exist. These are two separate things. So now, why does it happen? It happens because we are not aware. We really don't know. Unless somebody points to us, then we will say, yeah, right, yes, correct. If somebody did not tell you, you were not born with the ability to think, like, for example, oh, I'm really ignorant. No one ever said that, I'm sure, when they were born, yeah? And maybe many, many years later, unless somebody comes and tells you, like through a Dharma talk, for example, like what's going on now, that to show you the mirror and say, this is what's happening in your mind. And still many people will not be able to see because of great obscurations, because our mind is like the clear blue sky. And then it's obscured by this dark clouds of ignorance. So we just need to blow those clouds of ignorance away, and then we can see that clear blue sky. This is what I want to actually try to do in this meditation. And those clouds that we are talking about are the obscurations of our related to our ignorance, meaning that it is the three poisons. Yeah, it is this attachment to things that we like, and then aversion to things that we don't like. So this is the aspect, the fourth aspect of the four immeasurables, meaning that we are unable to abide in equanimity. That means we are very partial. We like something, we grab. We don't like something, we push. So we are doing it all the time, pushing, pulling, and we're very happy about it because we don't know what we are doing. Because we are completely blissfully unaware. We say ignorance is bliss, and this is a classic example of what's happening in our own minds. So, what to do? Are we hopeless? No. There is a way out of it, actually. And the way out of it is that we follow the three trainings. The three trainings of morality, sila, samadhi, which is concentration, and then prajna, which is wisdom. How? So in sila, we, instead of harming others, we try to keep the precepts. Why? Because others are more important than us. This is bodhicitta. The self-cherishing aspect can be neutralized by bodhicitta. Bodhicitta meaning the attitude of wanting to benefit others. Okay? The self-grasping aspect can be purified through training in prajna, wisdom, meaning that you learn the concept of shunyata, emptiness. So the emptiness actually destroys this ignorance, which is the root of all defilements. So we are completely absorbed in samsara because of this great defilement of ignorance. So we balance. That's why we say in Mahayana Buddhism, we say that we are balancing wisdom and method, isn't it? What is method? Method is bodhicitta. Wisdom is the shunyata. So we cannot, we need to join this together. And it's not some sacred thing that, like, oh, we have to join it together because the Lama said so. It's not true, actually. Of course, the Lama said so, you have to practice. But understand why we have to join this together. That's more important. Some people say, I only want to read books, and I only want to do the emptiness aspect of it, and I'll become enlightened. Then the Buddha and said, no. Why? Because it's our minds are so enmeshed in ignorance that we cannot just look at shunyata without actually applying bodhicitta. Why? Because shunyata neutralizes only one out of two aspects of our root uh, problems. The root problem, I said, is self-grasping. And then the other root problem is self-cherishing. So bodhicitta neutralizes self-cherishing. That means there are billions of stars in the sky, but we think that we are brighter than all the other stars combined together. We are the center of the universe. And guess what? We are only one of the billions of stars. So, and every sentient being conduces to our happiness. And if sentient beings are miserable, we are also going to be miserable. So, our happiness is contingent upon other sentient beings' happiness. So, we have actually, really, truly speaking, no choice but to help them. If really, really we want to look at it from so the worst case scenario, we have no choice, right? We have to help sentient beings because what goes around comes around. So bodhicitta, the idea of bodhicitta is not some sacred thing that only belongs to Buddhists. It's not true. Bodhicitta meaning that we are shifting away this fixation on self. That means this self-importance and transferring it to other sentient beings. When we do that, our sense of self-importance slowly diminishes. So that means it's not that we are forgetting this self, but we are saying that others are important too. So we work for so we say that we do seva, service for others, service above self, isn't it? Like a Rotary, Interact Club, all these things. Service above self. What does it mean? That means we want to serve others so that we are not completely drowned in our own self absorption, like problems, etc. So most of us, we have problems, and we go deeper and deeper into the mental abyss because we think that we are the center of the universe, that the world revolves around us. So bodhicitta actually helps us to come out from this bad mental habit of thinking that only we are important, others are not important. So when we start to give importance to others, how? Through the three trainings. Number one, don't deprive others of life, protect life, don't kill. Number two, don't steal. So the reason why we kill is because we want to get things for ourselves, isn't it? So we kill off people, animals, etc., so that we benefit, isn't it? So it's self-cherishing. We steal not because we want to make others rich. We steal because we want to enrich ourselves, isn't it? Unless we are Robin Hood, but still, I'm pretty sure that the motivation of most people is actually for self-preservation. Yeah, unfortunately. So sexual misconduct also, we want to enjoy at other people's expense. Like, for example, if somebody sexually harasses and harms another being, it's for one's pleasure because one is more important than another person. And then for example, uh, the speech here, lying, harsh speech, gossiping, idle talk. So we do it anyway, yeah, because it makes us feel good. Why? It doesn't make other people feel good. It makes us feel good because we cherish ourselves more. Our happiness is more important than others, so we indulge in all these kinds of lies, etc. And then uh, this fifth precept, which is not taking things that cloud our mind, yeah, intoxicants. So we think that by taking all these intoxicants that we will be happy. So we are creating the causes for happiness. We think that for our own self, yeah, but actually speaking, we are only creating the causes of suffering. So if we follow the five precepts, it's actually conducing towards bodhicitta. So which means that we are actually being responsible for the happiness of others by abstaining from harming others. So bodhicitta first training is actually stopping to harm others. So what has that got to do with world peace, conflicts in the mind, and everything? If we don't keep our precepts, we won't have the mental space and peace to go to the next level, which is samadhi. So by keeping precepts, only then, like having basic decency not to harm somebody else. Okay, let's not talk about precepts. Let's just say that we will not do anything to harm somebody else through our thinking, through our speech, and through our actions. Can we do that? We say today we will do that, but tomorrow we forget. Or 5 minutes down the line, we forget. Why? Because we don't internalize it. So today's meditation is going to teach you how to internalize this training and then be more peaceful from inside and heal yourself. Once you are sorted, my goodness, you can be the beacon guiding light for other sentient beings. Yeah. So let's first start now. So first and foremost, we have to break this mental pattern of self-grasping, grasping at things, grasping at phenomena. How? First, come back to ourselves. So make your body straight. Make your body straight, and then always make your spine straight. If you cannot, doesn't matter, but try. Yeah. You can sit on a sofa. You can sit on a stool or on the floor, chair, wherever. Yeah. But try to sit, and then block one nostril, block your left nostril, and tell yourself, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. So this is awareness. Awareness is related to eradicating your ignorance. You should know what's going on in your mind and not be blissfully ignorant. So this is first level training. Being breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. And then you block your right nostril with your left ring finger. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm in, out, in, out. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in. So, and then you breathe in and out through both nostrils. So, breathing in, so your hands, when you're doing both nostrils breathing in, then it should be in this position here. Resting on your lap, your shoulders very relaxed, and put a smile on your face. Relax. There's nothing to worry. Just let go of today's thoughts. Yeah, whatever the past and tomorrow hasn't come, so don't worry about the future. Just relax and enjoy your breath. Okay, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. So I give you like a couple of minutes to just breathe in and breathe out and tell yourself you're aware that you're breathing in, and tell yourself that you're aware that you're breathing out. And while you're doing that, make sure that you have your attention fixated on the tip of your nostril and feel the beautiful breath, in breath, out breath, in breath, out. Naturally, don't force, don't stress yourself, just naturally breathe in, naturally breathe out, and put a smile on your face because we are enjoying our breath, you see. So just take 2 minutes. So we start with our blocking our left nostril, breathing in through our right, and then blocking our right nostril, breathing into our left, and then we do it alternately until our breath becomes very natural, balanced. So we are actually balancing the wind energy in our bodies, because mind and body are connected through the breath. The breath is the bridge to our mind and our body. So then do both nostrils, yeah? And all the time smile and just relax. So while breathing in and out, should any thoughts of the past arise or the future, just Gently bring your awareness back to your breath. Don't follow the thoughts of the past. Don't follow the thoughts of the future. Just bring your awareness back to the breath and enjoy your breathing in. And tell yourself, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in, and genuinely you're aware of the sensation of this breath. In, in. So the pace is entirely up to your body. Your body decides, not you decide. Your body decides whether you're breathing in short or long. It's entirely depending on your body. You just relax and enjoy. Nothing to do other than enjoy your breath. Who says meditation is difficult? It's very simple, isn't it? So do the 3 rounds again. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm out. In, out, in. So by now you would have your body will be a little bit less your body will be like more relaxed, your breathing slightly less uh like disturbed, and then your mind starts to become lighter and lighter, and then you slowly can connect back to your heart center, isn't it? That's what's happening. And this is called pranayama. Pranayama is meant to stabilize your wind energy in the body. So I always recommend that before start going on our meditation trip. So meditation is not about being strict with your body and torturing it and then forcing your mind to think on something. That's not meditation. Meditation is letting go, relax, connect your body and mind through the breath, enjoy, and then there's a sense of lightness and joy that emanates from your heart. You start to feel lighter and lighter, and then you can smile more and more, and you feel very relaxed. Reason why we are doing the pranayama, these breathing exercises, is to cut the thoughts that were related to before you step into this talk show, right? Before this meditation session. All the negativities, all this past, future, like, dislikes, thought, all start to fizzle away. And you get a glimpse of samadhi. A little bit, isn't it? You feel much more relaxed. So it's anybody can do it, whether you're Buddhist, whatever religion you are, anyone, as long as you are human, you have the ability to do it. So this is why I always say that the Dalai Lama is absolutely right. We promote meditation in the form of uh, non like in a circular way. Then we can spread peace in this world. So meditation is not belonging to Buddhists, neither it's belonging to any other religion group. It's for humanity, oneness. Yeah, oneness. Why? Because we can breathe. Everybody breathes. The problem is that we forget that we are breathing. We forget that we are breathing. We are unaware of our breath. In, out, in, out, in, out. We forget because we are busy projecting our senses outwards, grasping at the sound, smell, taste, touch, and our thoughts, grasping all the time. So what we like, we grasp, and then and then the chain of dependent origination, ignorance. So when you start to attach, when grasping comes, then suffering occurs. Same thing. So now we are trying to reverse this. Let go. Let go. And the first thing to let go is let go of your worries of the past, future, like, dislike. So now our minds only do 4 things. I want you to check. Our minds are only doing 4 things at any point in time. First thing is we are always going back to the past and regretting and miserable, all these kinds of revenge, vengeance, all these kinds of thoughts. I didn't do enough. We go back to the past and then brood. Okay. And then the next is that we are worried about the future, so we cannot live in the present moment, so we worry about the future. Okay. And then whatever we like, we grasp, we attach. Whatever we don't like, we push. So this pushing, pulling, past and future is all that our minds do. Of course, our minds do a lot of other things, but generally speaking, it is these four things that actually are being done. Okay. So now I would like you to do me one favor and try to take your hand, yeah, your right hand, and put it on your on your heart, and try to touch your emotions. You know, for me, that the moment my right hand touches my heart, something magical happens. I really can touch the emotion. Something like a volcano, like suddenly comes up, some kind of tiredness. Like for me, like sometimes like very tired, sometimes very sad. Monks and nuns can become sad too. Monastics are not robots, We too become sad, we too become tired. We're not born monastics. So then are we only human? So we are the same as you. Only thing is that we are trying our level best to be aware of our body, our speech and mind daily. So touch your heart and then tell yourself, not tell me, what is the greatest emotion at this particular time? It could be anger, it could be sorrow, it could be regret, it could be anything, yeah? It could be anxiety for the future, deep sorrow for the loss of a loved one, some regret that you didn't do enough, some tiredness, some worry about your business, worry about your family. Maybe your health is not good. So when you touch your heart tells you through this touch. The first, the most, the most intense emotion immediately comes up. Correct or not? Yeah. So this is the reason why first you do pranayam, get your body and mind to connect, okay? And after that, touch your emotion, especially when you're having a flood of emotions. So what to do is it's like a volcano. So sometimes you're angry, you're really frustrated. What to do? Come immediately apply the pranayama technique immediately wherever you are. No, it doesn't. Sometimes people say that it might look weird, but if you want to save yourself from killing somebody or killing yourself, or doing something which will cost you even more, so that little bit of oddness in doing pranayama might save your life and somebody else's. So breathe in, out, enjoy it, and then once you bring your awareness back to your breath, your heart opens, and then touch your heart and tell me what is the greatest emotion, and just observe this emotion. This emotion is not real. It does not truly exist. That's the key here. Whatever feelings and sensations that you have, whatever thoughts, whatever feelings, whatever perceptions, whatever sensations that arise, they do not exist inherently, meaning they are not really, there's nothing to grasp at. We are grasping, that's why we make this very solid. Because we solidify our sense of self. That's self-grasping. Self-grasping created these strong emotions, remember that. And then self-cherishing also contributed to it. So first realize that how actually we really are actually not existing the way we think we are. Our emotions, just look at them. The moment you look at them, you can see that the emotions arise, they stay for a short while, and then they disappear. That's impermanence. Everything arises, stays, disappears. No matter how sad you are, how disappointed, how much anger and suffering that you have, it's everything actually arises, stays, and disappears. Arises, stays, and disappears. Look at it, shine the torch of your mind onto whatever sensations that you can feel. Gradually, it will disappear. Because these thoughts are like the clouds. They are not your mind, they are not you. Because you are not you. So how can your thoughts be you? So just imagine all these thoughts to be like bubbles. Thoughts, feelings, sensations, anything good, bad, whatever, just relax. Don't do so much of work. Let go. So you can imagine it in the form of bubbles. and then the bubbles are very impermanent, isn't it? Just come up, they spring up because of causes and conditions. Once they spring up, they don't last very long, they just burst. So you burst that bubble. So you burst that bubble, how? And then you dissolve it into space. When you dissolve it into space, that exactly is the nature of your thoughts. That's your nature too. We are also going to dissolve. In fact, we are dissolving all the time. We can't see our existence. So at the end of it, there's nothing to grasp. There is nothing to hold on to. So we cling, grasp. That's why we suffer. So when we stop grasping and let go, change, transform our pain and suffering into bubbles and pop them into space. And just enjoy this sense of uh, letting go. Let go, yeah? And rest in peace while you're alive. Just rest. Rest in your heart center. Just rest for 1 minute. Just genuinely rest after popping the bubbles of your emotions, perceptions. Rest. There's nothing to grasp. The past is gone. The future has not yet come. Just relax and enjoy your breath. So, like I mentioned many times in my previous talks, you don't have to die to rest in peace. You can rest in peace in the here and now. That is called present moment awareness. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm. If you want to truly live in harmony and peace, learn how to live moment to moment in the present moment. How? Breathe in, breathe out. And then if you have very strong emotions coming up, touch your heart. Identify the strongest emotion. Shine the spotlight of your mind, torch of your mind on that emotion and see where it's coming from, where it's going, who created it, is it real, is it concrete, where does it go, follow it. If you feel that, some say that you shouldn't follow, but for some people who cannot, they must follow. Okay, follow until you just, but follow as an observer, don't follow as a participant. That's the key. You can follow the thought and then suddenly the thought will just disappear like the bubble. And that's the nature of thought. The nature of thought is actually dharmakaya. It's actually the true nature of our mind is as clear as the sky. So blow away all those clouds by touching your emotions, transforming them into bubbles, understand their nature of impermanence and emptiness, and dissolve them into space. And just relax in the true nature of your. Once we stop grasping outwards, come back inside through pranayama. Stop grasping at the past, stop grasping at the future, stop liking this, liking that. Just see these four things in our mind. Sooner or later, we will understand what peace means. Resting in peace. When you rest in peace, then you can let others rest in peace. Not by sending them to the grave, but by giving this joy, gift of being in the present moment. That's resting in peace. Yeah, I know it sounds morbid, but it's true. Yeah. So thank you so much. I've taken up a little bit more time, but I thought that it's really very important to share this with you. Yeah, and if you want to, that was just the touching of the emotion aspect. If you have any further questions, I can explain to you the bodhicitta aspect of how to shift the attention from yourself to other beings. That also is another healing technique, only if you're interested. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Venerable Dr. Karma Tashi Choedron. That was a brilliant session and so clear, understandable. Thank you so much. I have a small question, if you could kindly please clarify us, especially for the beginners. How often should a beginner practice this meditation?
Okay, very good question, Sonia. Dr. Soniala. Okay, um, for beginners, I recommend short sessions. try doing your pranayama for 5 minutes in the morning before you wake up from before you get out from bed to rush to the toilet to brush your teeth, right? So, and then 5 minutes in the evening before you go to sleep. Start with that first. And then do that for 21 days.
21 days.
Because
Thank
because habit forms, it's a yogic method, tried and tested, that habit forms in 21 days. Don't break. Same time every day, just 5 minutes is enough. So once you pass that 21 day stage, morning and evening, same time, and then you do it with joy, then after that you can increase it to 10 minutes. But small. Don't make it go more than 20 minutes for beginners. You incremental changes, 5, 10, 15, 20, same time, same place, daily. After that, when you're used to the idea, then you can do it anywhere, anytime. But for beginners, always the time, the place, and the duration, how many days you have to do, uh,
you.
just for you to be fully entrenched into the practice. Great
Thank you.
question.
So
Thank you.
I was going to ask about how long a direction, but you already answered me. You are very clear, very precise. So I think it was a wonderful guided meditation session. Honestly, I think it was wonderful. Even about the bodhicitta, we really are very grateful and would love to hear about that in the near future. Would love to hear from you about that. And we just want to thank you and Dr. Sonam also for your kindness and for the generosity in giving your time to be here today, both of you. And hope we can see each other soon again. Yeah, hope this difficult times can pass and we can again see each other. So thank you very much for this session, Tashi, and may all the merits I would like to request if you can do a dedication prayer before we leave the session,
Sure.
please. Thank
Sure.
you.
I just wanted to ask you, the others are not going to ask any questions.
We don't have more questions. These were the questions we have at the moment. I think we
Okay.
don't have any questions here.
Okay.
And
Right.
so, but this is going to be available in YouTube. So I'm sure meanwhile, if many people is going to be able to see again, because we have very different time zones all over the globe. So I'm sure many people will see the meditation session in the YouTube and will be willing to put a lot of questions, I'm sure.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you
So,
very much.
dedication, yeah. So, thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank
Uh,
you.
Trinity, we are, Venerable Dr. Sonamla and I are immensely grateful for the opportunity to share the Dharma. Sharing the Dharma is actually the highest gift, the greatest gift that we can give to sentient beings. And you have enabled us to do so. So, truly rejoice in your merits. You have created great merits, and by providing this platform for other monastics and other teachers to come and share, you have no idea the incredible amounts of good karma that you are creating. It will never be exhausted in this life and all future lives until you attain Buddha. That's for sure. So dedicate these merits to all sentient beings that they may be liberated from the ocean of birth, age, sickness, and death. So we just a very quick chant in Tibetan. Sonam di tham chi zi pa ni top ni pe dra nam pham je de ke ga na chi ba na tru pa yi sit pe so le ro wa sho Jampe pavu jitara khin padam antu zang o yang de shin de da kengi jesu da lo jin ye wa di da ham chi ra Lama Kukamzang La Subhade se rigla sulwa de prile da shi gela sulwa de lama dandra war jigil chase wa dan chuchi shapa da jiso yira kushin sowa yige wa chunze da ge jisa pa thamche zo pe jan chuchi janchu semcho rimpuche make panam ki joji kepa nyampa me pa yango ne gondo resho ringi tawa rimpuche make panam ki joji kepa nyampa me pa yango ne gondo pe resho ni tawa rimpuche make panam ki joji kepa nyampa me pa yango ne gondo pe
Thank you so much, Dr. Kama and Venerable Dr. Sonam, for this beautiful and amazing meditation session. This was really not possible without Brother Chong. I would like to invite him here. He's in our backstage providing the video, dealing with all the difficult technical issues. Brother Chong, thank you so much for your effort and kindness
next
today.
time
Most welcome.
can
Yes.
you come here to our home?
We
Yeah,
can
Brother
plan for that.
Chong.
Yes.
Need you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Brother Chong is really amazing. Without him, this would not be possible. Especially today, it was kind of difficult. Thank you, Brother Chong. Thank you very
Welcome.
much. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Kama. Hope to see you very soon. Thank you for this beautiful dedication of merits and wish you all the best to you both. Wonderful work. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Have a good night. Goodbye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.